Welcome to Movie Recaps with Brian. Subscribe below for daily recaps. Today, we're recapping Whiplash, directed by Damien Chazelle. Andrew Neiman, played by Miles Teller, a first-year jazz drumming prodigy, enrolls at the prestigious Schaffer Conservatory in New York City with a singular dream: to leave behind a legacy like his idol, Buddy Rich. Andrew's life revolves entirely around music. He practices in isolation, striving for perfection, hoping to be discovered. His chance comes when Terence Fletcher, played by J.K. Simmons, the notoriously demanding conductor of the school's elite studio band, overhears him practicing. Fletcher offers him a place as an alternate drummer for the band's core player, Carl Tanner. For Andrew, this feels like the door to greatness swinging open. At first, Fletcher appears supportive, charismatic even, offering subtle praise and showing interest in Andrew's potential. But this facade shatters during Andrew's first studio band rehearsal. When Andrew seems to lose the beat on Hank Levy's Whiplash, Fletcher freezes the room in silence. Without warning, he hurls a chair at Andrew's head, then walks up, berating him viciously. Fletcher repeatedly berates Andrew, barking, "Were you rushing or dragging?" while humiliating him in front of the ensemble. It becomes clear that Fletcher's teaching style is less about guidance and more about psychological warfare. Determined to prove himself, Andrew throws himself into brutal self-imposed practice sessions, drilling rudiments until his hands blister, tear open, and bleed onto the drum kit. His obsession begins to seep into every corner of his life. He starts dating Nicole, played by Melissa Benoist, a shy movie theater concession worker, but even in their tender moments, his mind drifts toward music. Andrew's big break comes during a jazz competition when Tanner misplaces his sheet music right before going on stage. Tanner freezes, unable to play without the score, so Fletcher calls on Andrew, who knows Whiplash from memory. The band wins the competition, and Fletcher promotes Andrew to core drummer. The triumph is short-lived. Soon after, Fletcher replaces Andrew with Ryan Connolly, a drummer from a lower-level ensemble, shattering Andrew's confidence. Frustrated and single-minded, Andrew alienates his family, dismissing their inability to understand his ambitions. He breaks up with Nicole in a cold, calculated conversation, telling her she would only hold him back. Back in the band, Fletcher announces the sudden death of Sean Casey, a former student. He tells the group Casey died in a car accident, masking the truth. The rehearsal spirals into a 5-hour endurance test on Caravan, where Fletcher pits Andrew, Tanner, and Ryan against each other in a grueling contest of speed and stamina. Andrew alone withstands the pressure and wins back the core position. The next competition seems like Andrew's moment of vindication, but disaster strikes. On the way, his bus breaks down. He rents a car, but in his rush to the venue, he realizes he left his drumsticks at the rental counter. As he races back, his car is T-boned by a truck. Bruised, bleeding, and disoriented, Andrew drags himself from the wreckage and staggers to the stage just as the band is announced. His injuries make playing impossible. He fumbles and drops tempo. Fletcher halts the performance, quietly dismissing him from the band in front of the audience. Humiliated and enraged, Andrew launches himself at Fletcher, tackling him before being pulled away. He is expelled from Schaffer. Andrew's world collapses. He stops drumming altogether. Then, his father Jim urges him to meet Rachel Bornholt, a lawyer representing Sean Casey's family. She reveals that Casey didn't die in a car accident. He hanged himself after suffering depression and anxiety, allegedly worsened by Fletcher's relentless abuse. She asks Andrew to testify anonymously, and though hesitant, he agrees. Schaffer subsequently fires Fletcher. Months later, Andrew wanders into a small jazz club and finds Fletcher at the piano. Fletcher is warm and conversational, reminiscing about the greats. Over drinks, he defends his methods. The world's next Charlie Parker wouldn't be discouraged by being pushed to the breaking point. He tells the infamous story of Joe Jones throwing a cymbal at Parker's head, framing it as a necessary spark for genius. Fletcher then invites Andrew to perform with his professional band at the upcoming JVC Jazz Festival. The set list will be familiar studio band pieces. Hungry for redemption, Andrew agrees. That night, he calls Nicole to invite her, but learns she's in a relationship with someone else. The festival begins. Just before going on, Fletcher leans in and tells Andrew he knows about the testimony. As revenge, he calls an unfamiliar chart, leaving Andrew to flounder in front of the prestigious audience. Humiliated, Andrew walks off stage into his father's arms. But something shifts inside him. Breaking free from Jim's embrace, Andrew storms back to the kit, cutting off Fletcher's introduction and counting in Caravan himself. The band follows, and Fletcher, momentarily stunned, takes up the baton. The piece builds into a blistering tempo. When the final bars arrive, Andrew pushes into an extended, explosive solo, drumming with a ferocity and precision that transforms the room's energy. Fletcher, now smiling, steps back, letting Andrew take full control. In that moment, the power dynamic reverses. Fletcher is no longer the tormentor, but the witness. With a final cue, Fletcher and Andrew lock eyes in mutual recognition. The last chord hits. Silence. Legacy achieved. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe below to watch more movie recaps with Brian. Comment below which movie you'd like to see recapped next.